I can't believe it's the last quarter of 2025. So I thought I'd switch it up this week and do a get ready with me style video where I touch base with you and let you know what I have planned for the last quarter of this year, what I'm doing to help build momentum for next year, as well as just catching you up on life stuff, just things going on with my son, with all the things that I have planned for you guys for next year. And you guys ask me all the time, like, what lip combo is that? What makeup are you using? What this, what that? And so I felt it would be awesome to be able to share that with you in this video. I am getting ready to do a photo shoot at the end of this week. So I'm practicing, you know, the look that I might do for that day. I just wanted to catch up with you in this video. So without further ado, hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. I'm so excited. I feel like I haven't done a get ready with me in so long, but before we dive in, I wanted to let you know what I put on my skin as a base, skincare wise, to sit under the makeup, because of course that is what ensures good long lasting makeup and that your skin is getting what it needs. So first I went in with the Lemieux Iso Recovery Rose Toner and I spritzed that all over my face extremely generously. You want it to saturate the skin. It's going to be doing a few things, and it's been a huge favorite of mine lately, but it's going to be, of course, hydrating the skin, but then also it is going to awaken the skin cells. So it is specifically activating the mitochondria, which is the batteries of our skin that are going to help repair, to help produce collagen, to just help the skin do what it needs to do, and therefore then also boosting other products that you're putting on the skin. And it also has some minerals like magnesium, zinc, and potassium. Did I say that already? Anyways, it has some minerals in there to help with barrier repair and strengthening. So I love spraying that all over before I put on my other products. So before I go in with my serum, I'm going to be spot controlling with the Skin Script Blemish Spot Treatment. It has glycolic acid and salicylic, and it has a 1% salicylic acid. So it's gonna target any inflammation and breakout on the skin. I love just patting that in and massaging it and just imagining that pimple getting smaller and smaller, and I kid you not, it really does get smaller. Then I'm going to be going in with my vitamin C serum from Lemieux. This is also infused with their hyaluronic acid base, which is going to deeply hydrate your skin and then provide you that antioxidant support with the vitamin C blend in there. And it is a vitamin C that is going to be stable on the skin, and I've been using that product for a while now. And then I went in with actually a new favorite of mine, which is the Daytime Control Facial Lotion from Circadia. I've been looking for a really good moisturizer that doesn't make my skin super shiny at the end of the day. And I also don't really like anything that feels too drying or too mattifying. So I feel like this has been a great in-between of a lotion like that is oil-free and friendly for someone like me who's a combination oily, acne-prone skin type. So we talked about moisturizer. Of course, you guys know SPF is a really important step. So I've been loving this Pure Mineral Tinted Moisturizer SPF 30. It is water resistant. It's from Images Prevention Plus line. They've been coming out with a huge variety of sunscreens, but just for some reason, this tinted one has always just been a favorite of mine. It gives that little slight coverage. So even if I didn't want to wear any heavy makeup that day, I would just put this on my skin and it would still give a really nice finish, but not anything too heavy in appearance. So I love putting that as my base on top of my moisturizer. And then last but not least, I've been loving this lip mask from Trader Joe's. This is the one in cinnamon roll, and it's on the shelves right now because it's fall. But I've tried other ones. They have a vanilla one that I tried. They have a watermelon one that I've tried, really hydrating and thick on the lips. So I always put that on while I'm doing my makeup so that by the time I get to the lip part, they're nice and hydrated. So anyways, that's the base. If you guys have any questions about that, comment below. Let me know what your guys' favorite skincare is right now and any favorite products that you guys have that you've been loving. I'd love to hear about them because I know you guys have been wanting more skincare reviews from me, and I know I've been slacking on that a little bit. So I'm going to try to give you some more of what you want to hear about. So let me know in the comments below what skincare lines you want to hear about next. We are going to start out, of course, with foundation. Now, the reason why I have two shades, and this is the Dior Radiant 24-hour radiant foundation. So the reason why I have two colors is because sometimes I have a spray tan and I need to mix the two so that they match my body, which I'm actually going to be getting a spray tan in a couple days. So this makeup actually is going to be kind of a practice run of what I'm going to do for my photo shoot. I have a photo shoot coming up on Friday for some new headshots and like some announcement pictures, but I know my tan has already kind of worn off a little bit, so I'm just going to go in with 3N, which is a neutral undertone. So I'm just going to apply that. I know I'm bad. I'm going to be putting it on my face directly. And I'm using 4 pumps, and that's like if you want optimal coverage. If you want a lighter to more sheer coverage, then just use 2 pumps, because this does have a medium coverage and it's buildable. I'm just blending that into my skin, and it just gives such a like beautiful glowy look to the skin and covers your blemishes. I was so excited to catch up with you guys because I do kind of feel like it's been a while since I've sat in this room. As you guys see, I've decorated it a little for Halloween. Halloween is actually one of my favorite holidays. Let me know in the comments what your favorite holiday is. This year has been really eye-opening to me because so many of the things that I have been just like working on behind the scenes and manifesting have just come to fruition this year, and what you should be doing in this last quarter of the year, because I do feel like a lot of the time that I have wanted to manifest anything, the work is really like being done during like what we call the slower months of the year. And I do kind of feel like some of us might feel like the holidays tend to be a little bit slower. But honestly, this is the time where you should be like kind of revisiting your goals. You should be planning for next year and just evaluating what you could do differently. By the way, I use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser in 130. And I just put that on my under eyes, bridge of my nose, my chin, and above my lip. And this also could be the part where you would go in with like a thicker, creamier concealer and like cover up any of the blemishes that maybe you want to cover even more. So I'm just like highlighting these areas right now. But anyways, yeah, this should be the time of the year where, you know, you're reevaluating, but also resting, because like I said earlier, you know, me and Kristen have just been like on the go every single month. I kid you not, since what was it, March? I think March is when we did our rebrand. Then every month from there we were going somewhere. We went to Dallas, we went to New York, we went to Vegas. So we have just been on the road and loving every single second of it. There's been many moments of like growth and getting uncomfortable. And I'm telling you, all the things that we did this year were because of what we did last winter. So stay focused. Don't get too discouraged during this time, because this is like really when you should be strategizing. And I've made other videos for you guys before, so be sure to check those out. Okay, sorry, pause. I'm using the Rare Beauty liquid blush in Joy. Did you guys see Selena Gomez's wedding pictures? She had me gagged, y'all. Like, and it takes a lot for me to like really be impressed by something. And Selena, girl, you impressed all of us by your wedding. Oh my goodness, I was obsessed with her dress, with her hair, with her makeup. Like, she came out with like some specific products for her wedding, and I was like, those are gorgeous. So congrats to Selena. She looked so happy. Her wedding's gonna be an inspo for a while. I did officially like close my books, I think, for I don't want to say for the rest of the year, but there are just some projects right now that I really want to finally put some time towards. I know I mentioned to you guys earlier this year that I was going to be coming out with, you know, some more online resources and revamp my Going Solo series. Well, y'all, now it's time for me to follow through on that promise. So I'm going to be working on those couple projects over the next couple months, aiming to have those launched probably sometime in January or February. And so that's also what this photo shoot is for that I'm having on Friday, because I wanted to have some pictures to kind of you know, prepare for that launch and that announcement. So y'all always hear it here first on YouTube though. I appreciate you if you're watching this. I do kind of feel like, you know, my real supporters really are here on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for your time and energy and love on this channel. This is where it started, y'all. So I'm never gonna go anywhere. I know sometimes I might not, you know, be super active on here, but I promise you that I'm not going to quit. So you better follow me on Instagram. I am trying and praying to the gods to help me like get into TikTok more, but it's just so hard to balance all of these different platforms, you guys. Like there isn't a specific algorithm and a specific dedication for each platform. And right now I feel like I am just managing Instagram and YouTube, and TikTok will come when it comes. We'll see, hopefully. That's actually probably one of my like biggest tips for anybody right now who's just getting started and they're thinking about like which platform should I be focusing on more. And I honestly feel like given everything right now and what's thriving, what's growing, I would definitely say consider getting onto TikTok more. If you guys are just getting started and you're like, okay, I want to do really well at one or two of these, I would definitely say like Instagram and TikTok are really where it's at. Not that YouTube isn't like cool, but unless you're really planning on having the type of dedication that maybe I've had on here, I would definitely say it's going to be a lot easier to go viral and be consistent with TikTok and Instagram. Contour wise, I use the Fenty Beauty liquid contour in 385W. It's not super dramatic, but it does give a little dimension. So I'm just putting it in the areas that I want to suck in more. Okay, so we're gonna go in with my favorite setting powder. I have tried so many different setting powders, and I kid you not, the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is the one in honey. So I'm just going in with a powder. This is actually a highlighter brush, but I've just used it as like a setting powder brush. So I'm starting on the under eyes. So back to kind of like the life update stuff. Although this year has been extremely wonderful for work and all of those things, it has also been equally challenging. So I'm just letting you know right now, like just because you see, you know, everything thriving and doing well for people online does not mean they got nothing going on in the background that they're struggling with. And you guys can also expect that when you start to pursue things that are outside of the box and that are going to challenge you and force you to get uncomfortable and to grow and enter into a new frequency, like the world and the universe are going to start testing you with things. And it's going to be like, do you really want this? Are you ready? Because yeah, like things have been getting thrown my way that are things I've never had to deal with before in my life. Pause real quick. I used my favorite, like it's like a highlighter blush slash bronzer. It's called Cheeky Bronze. It's a mineralized skin finish powder from MAC. Now I'm going to be going in with my bronzer, Give Me Sun mineralized bronzer from MAC. And we're just going to be applying that to the forehead, making everything look like I just came from somewhere tropical, even though I live in the Bay and we don't get a lick of sunshine. Right now it's been weirdly rainy. So anyway, she's looking sun-kissed. It's actually talked a bit more about this on my podcast, which shout out to Vero. She's my friend that I was on her podcast recently, and that was super fun to do. And so if you haven't watched the episode yet, go ahead and check it out. I'll put it in my description. But I did share on the podcast about my son having special needs. And I think I've shared it with you guys here before, but maybe if you're new tuning in, you didn't know that. But yeah, being a single parent already is a challenge, but then also being a parent to a child that has special needs is extremely challenging. And I pride myself in being a pretty patient, loving person, but having a boy at that has so much energy, it has really challenged me to grow and to have even more patience, even more unconditional love. And he is my son, so it is a lot easier to do. because he's my child, but nonetheless, it is challenging. Hold on, I'm going to be applying some of this. Sorry for the mic. I do apply some of this to the neck and chin, collarbone area, because you want the face to match the body as much as you can. It has been a huge journey alone, just with figuring out childcare and his school. He actually started a new school this fall, and so that's been a really big transition. It started off good, and I would say it's still going better than the last school that he was at, because the last school he was at, whew, yeah, they were really trying me at that school. But thankfully, like, this school, I do kind of feel like is a bit more prepared. It is in an area that I would say has a little more funding, and that's why I moved him over there, because I assumed, because it's a wealthier city, that maybe it would be a bit better. And they have been better, but there's still been a huge learning curve because each child is different and each child's needs are different. There's something called an IEP, which is an individual education plan that these children with delays receive from the public school. And it basically lays out different goals and services that by law these schools have to provide these children. And so for a while, my son was in a special day class. And through the special day class, he's getting a smaller class size. He's working with teachers that are more specially trained with special needs. They're able to change diapers. They're able to care for these kids a little bit more intentionally. And so he was in a class like that for the last, I want to say it's been like 3 years since through the public school he entered into a special day class. And so this year, when I moved him to the new school district, they just plopped him right into a mainstream class, which, if you guys don't know what like mainstream means, that means a normal class. I hate saying normal because, I don't think special needs kids aren't normal, but you know what I mean. A normal class that doesn't have any specialized care to it, and it's a class usually about 10 to 20 to 30 students sometimes. So the first day I bring him, I'm dropping him off and I'm like, are you guys prepared? I remember talking to the teacher and she was like, yeah, so like I'm having him sit right next to me and, we'll see how he does. And I was just like, are you guys going to have an aide? Like, is there anyone here that's a little bit more experienced? And she's just like, no, it's just me. And I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, good luck, y'all. Like, I already know, because when I watch my son by myself, I need an aide. So to also imagine a teacher who's managing like 20 other children and then my son, I'm like, ooh, okay, good luck, girl. Call me if you need me. So I guess he did okay the first day, but then as he, has been going there and he got more comfortable, because, once we get comfortable, sometimes we show more of our other sides. And so he started to get a little comfortable and he started showing, some of the things that he does struggle with behavior-wise. And he's not potty trained. For those of you who don't know, I do still have him in diapers, and that's been a really big challenge in itself, is just getting him to use the restroom and let me change him. So I can only imagine the teachers. I know it's been a stressful thing for them also to figure out. In the end, I think that the school is realizing, yeah, this kid is probably going to need a little bit more attention and care than we anticipated. So I have had to have at least 2 or 3 meetings with the principal and his teachers and his therapists to kind of go over like my concerns. And just things have happened where like I've had to go and in the middle of a work day go and change him because they're like, he won't let us, he's refusing to go to the restroom. It is just, yeah, it's really kind of inhibited me from being able to take on the projects that I've wanted to take on in my company. And as a esthetician, I haven't been able to take on as many clients because, yeah, I've been kind of like having to call off, and thankfully Kristen's been able to step in and help me out if I need it. But like, that's kind of why right now my client load is a lot lighter, because I've had to take on, more things. Like, not only just having to go to the school to check in on him, but also because my nanny, she's dealing with her own health things right now. And you know, when I first brought her on, I did know she was going through some things, but as we've worked together, she has sadly, you know, kind of started to get a little worse and needed, you know, just more rest, I guess, in between watching him, because yeah, my son, you know, it takes a lot of energy to care for a child with special needs, let alone any child, honestly. We've actually also too reduced our time together. So instead of her completely leaving us, we agreed to having her work 2 days a week versus before it was 4 days a week. So now I am picking up more days where I'm picking him up from school. So like he gets out, technically he gets out at 3 o'clock, but because of the circumstances right now, I've been aiming to pick him up a little bit earlier. It's also been doing ABA therapy. For those of you who have children with special needs, maybe you guys know what that is, but it's just basically additional support through our insurance, that he's getting a little bit more help with his speech and behavior and social skills. And so these therapists, they come to our house and they work with him 4 days a week right now. So from school, you know, I got to transport him home, get him settled. As you guys can hear, there's a lot that goes into this. So anyways, yeah, I now pick him up on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So then that really leaves me with Tuesdays and Fridays when my nanny helps me. So I've really just been like packing my clients as much as I can into my busier days. And then I have my clients in the morning on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But, you know, when a one-off happens where, you know, like this past week, my nanny ended up getting the flu, and then I started getting a little bit sick. Thankfully, I was starting to kind of feel it a little bit more on Friday. So I had the whole weekend, and we had a long weekend too to recover. But my nanny, because of her health, she just, whenever she gets sick, it just hits her a bit harder and it takes her longer to recover. So I've had to pivot the last couple weeks to try to get family to help. I don't have much family around, but the ones that I do have, thank God for them, because I don't know what I'd do. And I think that's also too what keeps me here in the Bay Area for now, because I do need that help. That's just to give you a little perspective of like what I'm balancing and juggling behind the scenes, and why maybe sometimes you might, you know, notice I fall off like a little bit from social media, because like it just be getting overwhelming sometimes, you guys. Like I really try to show up my best self for you guys, and I, you know, when I'm going through stressful things, like I don't want to show up inauthentically. And I do believe that like we're human, we need those like detoxes sometimes from social media, because it is, you know, it is a lot. But what I will say, and what I've been telling people who've asked me this, is like, you know, how do you do it? How do you, you know, continue to not quit? And the only way I've been able to truly like not disappear is because I give myself like a more balanced schedule with it now. Like if there comes a week where, like last week I was sick and you know, my nanny was out and I was just not feeling it, and I was, oh yeah, and I was on my period, so that made it even worse. I just tell myself, hey, okay, bare minimum, you need to just post once a week on your, or not once a week, once a day on your story, a working day. So I would say like 4 to 5 days a week, you should be posting at least once on your story, just to let people know y'all are alive. And it, you know, ideally be something that actually makes sense to post and has a little bit like of, you know, substance to it, not just like some random like, you know, product or something. Like make it an effortful post, and then aiming to post at least once on your feed a week. And that's kind of my bare minimum. And because I've been able to just tell myself, okay, yeah, no matter what, like that seems pretty easy to accomplish. Like you almost kind of have to like trick your mind into thinking like it's a lot easier. Actually, I learned that from a book that I had read about establishing good habits, and it was saying like, even if you get yourself to just go to the gym for 5 minutes, like you showed up, You know, sometimes it's like the hardest part of the battle is to just show up. And so if you tell yourself, okay, all I have to do if I'm going to show up this week is to post once, then that seems a lot more doable in your mind than like posting 3 or 4 times and having to come up with like 3 or 4 quality posts, right? Now I'm going to start on the eyeshadow, just so I don't have to keep pausing. This is a palette that I built. So at MAC, you can build your own eyeshadow palette. And so I'm going to put in the description what shades I have in this little palette here. Back to like my schedule and just what's been going on with my son and whatnot. Like, I am thankful that I'm able to even take a step back from work a little bit and you know, spend the time to be able to go and pick up my son and spend a little more time with him. It does just show me though how much I actually do on a regular basis, that I am kind of struggling finding the balance to continue to do, because even though when I go home with him on Wednesdays and Thursdays and he has his ABA therapy, once I get home, like, I am not able to fully concentrate and do work. I can do a little bit of work on the laptop, but as soon as I'm home, it's like I gotta start packing his lunch for tomorrow, gotta start making dinner, then I have like my therapy session once a week. And, you know, like, time just freaking flies once I get home. And my child always is, like, interrupting me, too. Like, he's always coming over. He's such a sweetheart. But it's like he's always coming over and he's like, Mommy, this, Mommy, that. And I'm just like, Devin, I'm trying to work. But, you know, I am trying to remind myself, like, okay, he's not going to be this little forever. And he's not going to care about me forever. I mean, I hope he cares about me forever. But you know what I mean. You moms know. If you have older kids, you guys know, like, at some point your kids are going to spread their wings and go other places, and, you know, they're not always going to be attached to you at the hip. So I am doing my best to really try to enjoy this season with him and, you know, not complain about it, because thankfully I do have a job that I'm able to pick him up from school, and thankfully I have, you know, Kristen to help work hours that I can't work. So I am so thankful for that. And I encourage you guys, if you're watching this, if you are in a season where you have more freedom, you don't have kids yet, you don't have any restrictions to your schedule, like, y'all should be going extra hard. Given when I opened up my business, like, I did have my son, and I'm not saying it's not possible for you to do it if you have a child or if you're a single mom, because that's exactly why I've shared my story, is to show you that it's possible. But realistically, my circumstances were a little bit different back then. I was living with my grandma, so I didn't have as many bills. You just have that energy and boost from, like, the excitement of opening up your own business. My son was younger. He didn't have as many needs as he does now. He didn't have school. Like, I had him in daycare, so he was able to, like, be in daycare till 6 o'clock every day. So there just, to me, wasn't as many obstacles back then, you know, when I was really going hard and I was really, like, going for it. And not that I'm not now, but it is a little bit more of a modified grind right now. And I do know that that's not going to be forever. I know I'm going to have another season where I'm going to pick things back up and hit the ground running. But this is just, I've just had to accept that, like, this is not one of those seasons for me. Like, this is a season where I just have to accept, I have to have a slow and steady pace and to not quit. Like, I just need to keep doing, you know, taking it a day at a time. And if you're in that season, that's okay. That's okay. You're going to have seasons like that having a business. I'm going to be going in with this kind of more pretty shimmer. Sometimes I do have my days where I get a little down because it's like, I want to do so much more. I want to, you know, grow my following more. I want to launch more stuff. I want to do this. I want to do that. But again, I've been just trying to create a schedule and to-do list for myself that is more sustainable and long-term, that I can keep going. And so I usually give myself just like one big project to work on each quarter. And so as you guys saw, last quarter, my bigger project was my training. And that went extremely well. Oh my gosh, like, it was low-key stressful, but It went so good. It really like reinvigorated me to want to teach again and to meet more of you. But I did have to tell myself, like, you know, because I didn't do trainings for a minute because they do take a lot of energy and a lot of planning, a lot of money. And I told myself that if I'm going to do this again, then I need to come up with a strategy that's going to be a bit easier pill for me to swallow. And because before, when I first launched this training, I did it like once a month at one point, or once every other month. I kid you not, it was like taking up so much of my, you know, my energy. And yes, regardless, like if you love something, it still takes energy. And so this time around, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to look for a space. I'm going to dedicate to doing this once this year, and I'm going to just open it up and set a date this time and see who comes. And I just put it in God's hands, and I was like, oh, whether this is like going to be big or small or whatever, like I already know it's going to be better than the last time I did a training. Because of, you know, what I was just sharing with you before with my schedule and just like my own mental health and finances as well, is I most likely will be doing just one training again next year around the fall time. I do plan on launching those dates pretty soon. I'm aiming for the new year of when I'll be officially launching those dates. I'm just trying to solidify a couple things because I do have a couple of potential partners and brands that want to join in on it, as well as another retreat announcement, as well as more online resources, me revamping my Going Solo series, more ebooks, and y'all, hint, hint, there's gonna be some merchandise coming your way. I'm just saying. It's already in the works. And I know I've been telling you that for a really long time, but it's actually in the works now. I'm so excited. But anyways, with all the things that I have, you know, going on, I have to find a balance to everything. So that's why I am only going to be doing one training again next year. So this is done. Let me look at myself in the mirror here. You want to look at yourself in a mirror close up, but then you also want to look at a mirror, which is what I'm looking at right now in front of me, further away, so that you can kind of see what it looks like kind of overall, and then just touch up where you need to touch up. I think we could, you know what I forgot, y'all? I forgot my setting spray. I'm mad. That is like a key, okay? No, I'm so sad. Okay, I don't know. Should I just use the Eyeshadow Recovery Mist? Let's see how it goes. Okay. Hopefully they didn't just ruin everything. Might be onto something. Eyeshadow Recovery Mist. Also a setting spray. Who knew? Okay, so now I'm going to be doing my eyelashes. And so I just started experimenting with different lashes from Amazon. So I ended up getting these babies from Amazon. They'll be linked down below for you. And I still do use the Lashify Bond because I do feel like this one has been the best one that I've used. And it doesn't get, I mean, it gets sticky enough to work, but it also is not so sticky that it rips your eyelashes out, because I do feel like there are some bonds out there that do that. So anyways, I'm going to be applying this to my lashes themselves. Then I'm going to be putting on my lashes individually underneath my eyelashes. I'm not going to do that on camera because we're already getting a very long video today. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then circle back to you guys. All right, I'm back, y'all. Slicked back the hair, because we're not washing it till the day before the photo shoot. I put on my lashes, and then I put some mascara on my bottom lashes. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Got it on Amazon. I used to get really expensive mascaras, and then I realized like they're all the same. So I just get mine from the drugstore now, or Amazon. And then I know you guys love the lip combo, so we're gonna walk through that real quick. I'm using the Cork lip liner from MAC for the liner. Then for the base, I'm using a lipstick that looks like this. This is from MAC, and this is in the shade Warm Teddy. And then I'm going to be topping it off with the NYX Butter Gloss. I always like slightly overline. You don't want to do it too much overline. You want it to be a little bit, just to give you a little something, something extra. Yeah, so I got my lymphatic drainage massage today. I have my spray tan coming up. I've been ordering my outfits from Fashion Nova and Amazon, and I've been looking on Pinterest for different ideas. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. So to wrap up the video, if we're talking like last quarter of the year tips for y'all, I definitely highly recommend that you book yourself a photo shoot. I swear to you, it will set you up for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. I would take pictures with products and brands that you hope to work with. If you have something you're launching, you know, get those, you know, pictures taken of like announcements. Like, just have headshots ready for anything. Like, you could put them on your business card. You could, you know, you would never know who you're gonna meet. Like, you just want to be prepared. So I highly recommend you schedule yourself a photo shoot. Also, just get those before pictures taken of your clients right now during peel season, because those will be useful to share next year as you're promoting this next year's peel season and just getting more clients. Get ready for tax season. I'm not gonna lie, last year I was a little behind on that, and that really bit me in the butt. So I encourage you to be on top of getting your tax stuff gathered, so that by like January, February, you're already in touch with your tax person and like getting your stuff in order and your payments up to date, so that it doesn't like sneak up on you in April. What do you guys think? This is the finished look that I'm going to be doing for my photo shoot on Friday. I'm so excited. I can't wait to share with you guys those pictures. I'm going to change real quick, do my little intro for this video, but please comment below what your plan is, what your tip might be for this last quarter of the year, what's worked for you, and also what your favorite lip combo is, because I'm always trying to try new stuff. So if you're similar skin tone to me and you have a favorite lip combo, or just a lip combo in general that you love, please comment down below. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it. Thank you so much again for your time, your love, your energy, and I'm wishing you an amazing last quarter of this year, and I'll see you guys next week for a new one. Bye.